Here we go. Here we are. Week 7. Well, reflect on week 6, which y'all had games. I didn't. I just kind of sat around and watched. Yeah. So as you see today, we have a representation from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome in, Joe Chapp. I have gone to games with both of these people, so yeah.
I've gone to games with one of them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Oh man.
We'll have to make a pilgrimage to Detroit at some point.
Oh yeah, let's go. Packers and Lions is on
Absolutely.
Thursday night. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. I like that.
Is that Thanksgiving?
No, it's the Thursday night Prime game. You know.
Okay.
Amazon Prime. I still can't believe they do games nowadays. So
some of that is a little over the top. Like really, like the Monday night extra game being exclusively on stuff that
ESPN Plus. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Stupid. It's so stupid. It's like college football having the Peacock game of the week. It's like,
right?
How many effing services do I need, dude? Like, how many services do I need?
So, can we do this quick? Raise your hand if your team won this week.
Really? Hey, raise your team if your team didn't lose this week.
Raise your hand.
Can't win if you don't play.
Raise your hand if you ruined Jerry Jones' birthday party.
I watched it.
His face on that was hilarious.
He was so pissed in that booth. I was just laughing, dude. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Yeah, no. I guess
hi, Penny.
Saying hi to us now.
Hi, Penny.
The dog saying
Harry let you out, bro. What do you want?
That's Penny, right?
Yeah, that's Penny.
Oh, she's getting old.
Yeah, she's
good girl.
She's getting there. So yeah, no, he has nobody to blame but himself on that. So there is that.
Oh wait! No, he's not blaming himself.
Of course not.
He went on the radio show and he said he would fire the radio host to ask him the one of the questions. You see that today? I saw it today. I was like, wait, what? This guy's an idiot. Like that's all his doing. Like he's a GM. So like whatever. Jerry Jones, man, he's a unique breed.
Right?
I love seeing the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, no.
So, Chapp, you don't know this. My boss is a Cowboys fan.
How do you take it?
I have not seen him yet this week.
Oh, nice. Yeah. we put him in hiding.
Monday, he ran into his office and closed the door.
I'm not going to talk to anybody.
I loudly said, "How about them Cowboys?" I got a groan.
Yeah, no, I mean, I obviously was watching it just to see what Detroit, scouting. I was gonna give O'Connell the scouting report.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to see what was going on and all that, and then sadly we saw well, they tried to hide it, but it was all over the internet. That was a horrific break, dude. Like,
man,
sucks.
It sucks because it's like now this is what I got to deal with. Okay, to have a Lions page that has 78,000 followers. You know that, Matt. I have that page, so I'm trying to tell people look, Max Crosby probably not going to happen. Myles Garrett probably not going to happen. It could happen, maybe. There's always an outside chance, but it's the Raiders and the Browns. They're idiots. No one knows what to expect out of them. They all think that they could just go and get these players. And I was like, we lost the best defensive player in the league this year. He's the number one pass rusher, number one in win rate, number one in sacks, number one in pressures. You don't really replace that.
Yeah,
so these people, I'm just like, come on. We're going to have to kind of belly up. Does this hurt them for the chances to go to a Super Bowl? Potentially. But there's going to be a lot more injuries in the NFL this year, so you're going to have to deal with it,
Everybody. And honestly, Lions going out and getting someone like that just reminds me of what the Niners did a couple years ago. I forget what the guy's name was, but he just been absolutely garbage for them, and they were kind of stuck with it. I forget his name, but
that's what you can run into. You could run into going to get someone, and then it turns out to be absolute shit. So it's all right. We're good.
Right? Yeah.
gonna have to run it.
I mean, you have the offense. Sure, defense might have some holes, but if you're able to first and foremost, I really think the Lions need to be more like, hey, we're just going to run you over because they have the offensive line, they have the running backs, and then once people okay, we're just 100% going after run, then that's over the
Because when
top.
Jared Goff passes over the top,
Yeah,
our offense is really good. Like that's that's just the reality.
flat out.
Our defense needs a little work. I mean, we've had some injuries with Davenport going down, which we all knew was going to happen. Thank you, Matt.
It was a matter of when.
Matt's is like, he's going to be injured by week 6. I was like, please don't tell me that, Matt. I'm not trying to. And then what do you know? He's down by week 3.
Yep.
I was like, oh man. And then John Kaminsky went down for a while, so he's been down for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So it's like
you can win without a great defense.
Oh well, yeah, I know that. I mean, I think the Lions.
If your offense can have the production that they need.
Yeah.
Well, here's the difference. So people that are Lions fans. So I'll just let you know and get you inside the head of a Lions fan. They think that you need both offense and defense to be top 10 to win a Super Bowl, which I think is not the way it goes. Now it's kind of like this. If you have an elite offense and your defense is kind of average, cool. That's how you win. Yep. You win. And then you win with special teams, obviously, and they're good at special teams. So I'm not really worried about, the defensive drop-off because the back end of our defense is actually pretty effing good with the safeties we have. As long as they stay healthy, we'll be pretty fine.
Yeah. No, it really comes down to if your offense can score when it matters at the end, because it's all I don't know, it was I forget what number it was, over 80% of games, no matter who gets big lead, the other team comes back, know, and it's at that crunch time, what happens if your team
can you run that 2-minute offense down the field when it matters at the end of the game?
It's so funny because we Lions fans should realize this because they had Matthew Stafford for years. That was the king of coming back, making it a game, and then at the end he'd be like, "Oh, here's the interception." You're like, oh, "Dude." What? I specifically remember a Minnesota game where they came back on Minnesota, and this guy throws it right to Harrison Smith. I was like, bro, number 22 is right there.
Yeah, but I also remember many times when he's won. Against Minnesota. So
yeah. He did do some crazy things. Those Lions teams weren't talented enough. People keep going back to those teams, and I'm like, the most talented team I've seen. The most talented team I've seen since I was born was 2014. And I told Matt a long time ago, I was like, team was garbage. They couldn't defend the pass. This Lions team, they're a little bit different. They got a lot of talent everywhere. They're not just, it's not like 2 players like you seen with the 2014 team where you had Calvin and Stu and Stafford. That was it.
Yeah.
There's more talent on this team.
Yeah. It's more about the whole being not great, but good, and a few couple good, really good guys there.
And you can look at all these teams in division except the Bears, but but you look at all these teams in the division, Lions offensive line, Packers offensive line, Vikings offensive line. They're pretty good lines. You got the defensive lines that have been pretty good. But the one thing that separates them from the rest of them is they don't allow you to run the ball, and then they can do whatever they want on offense. I told Matt coming into this year, I was like, Aaron Jones is going to be freaking phenomenal, and he has been phenomenal. Josh Jacobs, I thought he was going to be a little bit, he was playing with the Raiders, so I really didn't know what to expect, and he's been all right.
I'm still not a fan of Josh Jacobs.
Every week this has come up, and every week Tony has said his very
you didn't hear this before, but
what's your thoughts on Josh Jacobs?
I really think that the Packers made a mistake in the offseason.
I did too.
With their running backs.
Yes.
That they asked him, to do more than he should have. Than they should have. And they took an inferior back instead of paying the one they already had. Which, in my eyes, is exactly the opposite of what the Packers have been about my entire life. I'm only, 40 years old, but they've always been a draft and develop team.
Yeah.
They've always kept the talent that they have.
Yeah.
They didn't do that, and I don't know why.
See, when they decided to move on from Aaron Jones, I was like, look, I know Aaron Jones kind of like he could be injured sometimes, whatever. But like I looked at Josh Jacobs like this. The guy had a worse yards per contact than DeAndre Swift. Okay, when I tell you DeAndre Swift yards per contact, those two don't go together. Swift every time Swift would have a big run with Detroit, even with the offensive line he had, it was because they opened a hole up for him that was absolutely huge. Could he read the offensive line? No. Josh Jacobs was the same way. Like I don't know what happened to him from Alabama to Detroit to Vegas to the Green Bay, but last year, I mean, he couldn't read a hole to save his life. I mean, he was horrible. So, and I thought Aaron Jones, he was one of the best after yards after contact. So, I mean, if you're getting yards after contact, that's huge.
Yep. Well, and I was looking up just for sports.
He hasn't broken 6 yards per carry all season.
Yeah. Well, I think what was it last week we were talking? Wasn't it like 3 point something?
It was 3.8 last week and 3.4 this week.
Yeah, lovely. But I was just looking up, like, just for my own deal, like, okay, what is the injury ratio between these two running backs? And I'm like, dude, they're exactly the same. So they basically downgraded from a diverse back to I only run the ball back. And it's not like he was that much better. It's just he got so many carries with the Raiders because the rest of the offense sucked. He just had that many yards.
No, I mean he's beat the crap. I mean the Raiders have used and abused him. It's kind of like Ezekiel Elliott. Like they used and abused Elliott for years, and he's not the same back he was. And Jerry Jones keeps thinking that he's the same back, but whatever. But but Aaron Jones, I mean, God, that guy is. I like Aaron Jones a lot.
I made the mistake of drafting Ezekiel Elliott for my fantasy this year.
Oh no.
Yeah. In my defense, this is only my second year doing fantasy football.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. You're gonna make mistakes, you know. It's like that one year I drafted Miradula, so that's fun. So. Talk about another bad back for the Raiders.
Oh shoot. So who's the Packers have this week? I didn't even pay attention. I know the
Packers
Bears are off.
have the Houston Texans.
Oh, that's
Lambeau Field.
Good game. That's a good game.
Be a test.
We are a slight favorite.
What are you thinking about that game?
Plus 130 on the money line. It's at Lambeau, so
you should win.
The crowd can definitely influence that, as we've all seen.
Yeah, and there won't be as many Texans fans there in the stadium like there were purple fans.
I love being at Lambeau and influencing the game. It's an amazing feeling.
Me too.
To know that you've created, something on that field from your own, voice.
Well, that's what I like. That's what I like about Ford Field too, because I mean that stadium when that team is good, I mean it's loud. So
yeah.
It's cool to see that happen. I mean, we see that happen with Detroit's teams like the Tigers and the Red Wings, but the Lions, they've always been the team that, you're going there just to go to a football game, and now it's different. It's a totally different atmosphere, and they take it like very seriously. So,
yeah, I live like a mile and a half from Lambeau Field.
Yeah,
so
yeah, he does.
I go to I go to as many games as I can.
You live right in the Green Bay, like in the neighborhoods.
Yep,
I live just on the other side of the highway from the field.
Oh, that's sweet. That is sick. Yeah. I like that.
In between the field and the airport.
Nice. That's nice. Green Bay is nice. I like Green Bay. I've been there twice. So
there you go.
I went there once for a non-Lions game, and then I went there one for a Lions game, and they lost. But I'm not gonna talk about that.
If you ever need accommodations for a Packer game, let me know.
All right, we'll do for sure. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, the one Green Bay game I went to was Green Bay and the Giants in like week 17. Oh, that was so Nope.
The next one I have planned is to watch the Packers beat up on the Bears.
Oh, so I hope you do, Mr. Paint My Nails, Caleb.
I have.
We make fun of it, but I mean,
game.
they're gonna be kind of tough this year. even in division. Like that defense is what has always sustained them, and now they have a guy that you can't just count on
Say hi.
throwing horrible balls like Justin Fields did, and whoever before then. It was just I. Okay, I'm not. I know part of this is like
I
Chicken
think he's
Little
still
sky is
untested.
falling, but
Who has he played?
Yeah,
right.
that's why I say.
I know we were talking about that before we got into this, but yeah, I do want to see them play decent team and see what happens. Like they were one score away from the Texans, so I guess that will be kind of a barometer, like how the Texans do against the Packers. I mean, obviously Vikings we completely just ransacked them, but I don't know. It was their first experience, his first experience in Minnesota, so we'll
I
see.
don't know. I look at their schedule and like they beat up the Panthers, so whatever. They beat up the Titans, which they were given that game. Levis is an idiot. Him and his mail.
Yeah.
And then they beat the Jags, which okay, I could beat the Jags right now. I mean, literally, like we could go beat the Jags right now. They're horrible.
And the Panthers, that was game 1, right?
No, that was yeah, the Panthers and the Jags back to back.
Okay.
So now they get tested with the Commanders, the Cardinals. Oh, and they get the Patriots again. So cool.
So I just threw this up. We were kind of talking about this a little bit ago, but all 4 of our teams point differential leading. That's insane for any division, like ever. Like I've never seen stuff like this before. It's call it what you want, but yeah, it's crazy.
This division is really tough. It's really tough.
And this is what we've been kind of wanting, though. Like for the longest time, like we just want all our teams to be competitive, and every now and again.
I've been wanting that for a long, long time.
Hey, you hush until you catch up on division titles.
Well, to be fair, I mean, for the longest time, the Lions were crap, Bears were crap. I mean, the Vikings.
They've all had their years, but they haven't been consistent enough to say, that they were really contenders.
Well, that's why I keep telling these Lions fans, like, okay, like the way you did business back in the day, where you went and got free, not the best way to do business. The best way to do business is kind of like what the Packers do. You draft, you develop your own talent, and then when your talent's good enough, you pay them. That's how it rolls.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they just think that like, no, let's go get this free agent. It's like, no, we got to pay this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you think Lions fans would know?
Matt was giving me shit for the contract that Love got, but
you had half a year, bro.
I like Jordan Love. I do like Jordan Love. I do think this was a way back in the day, but when he came out of Utah State, I said he's going to be a steal for whoever takes him. And damn it, the Packers took him, man. And I was like, all right, well, he's never going to see the field because Aaron Rodgers is there. And then they moved Aaron Rodgers for Jordan Love to start, and I was like, uh-oh.
Right.
And I just knew he would be good because like he had little glimpses of him at Utah State where you're like, this kid could be really, really special, man.
He does get a little gamblish, like kind of like Favre was, but like tends to be not as.
This year I've seen some pretty bad decisions from him so far. I'm hoping that he's getting some of that out of his system.
Well, to be fair,
I know he's only had 3 games this year so far.
To be fair, you would rather have a quarterback that kind of takes those shots than a quarterback that doesn't take those shots, and you lose out on points. That's what I think.
Yeah, but that one from the end zone. We don't need him taking that shot.
See,
should we show that one again?
No, we should not.
It's like the Josh
I'm pretty
Allen
sure
thing.
Chapp knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, and that was. I won't give anything like. Yeah, that was a good throw. That's pretty poor. I know because I got a quarterback at Michigan State, Aiden Childs. He's really good, but he does some stupid stuff with the ball. You're like, all right, I didn't need that, dude. But next minute he's throwing a touchdown. You're like, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Right. And that's the thing. You deal with some of those in the process, and you just hope you can minimize
Yeah.
those crazy ones.
See, Jared Goss is the exact opposite. Like
Yeah.
he knows where he's going with the ball at all times. Like he just like, oh, right there, boom, and it's like, all right, it works. It does work. But
Yeah.
like there's some of these quarterbacks like Josh Allen who will just take those like he knows there's 4 people around him. He's like, fuck. He's like, F it.
Yeah. Well, I do notice that he
F it.
tends to get a little erratic when he does feel the pressure.
Yeah. Well, I think every quarterback does though.
Most do, yeah. But like I don't know, it just seemed like almost like anytime I see him with pressure, like every single time that ball comes out, it's gonna be like, well, is it actually gonna get to this guy?
No. It's you know the funny thing is the best quarterback under pressure because like he doesn't take sacks when he's under pressure is Geno Smith. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is a little crazy.
And then it's Baker Mayfield second. I'm like, all right.
You know something funny about Geno Smith? Where did he used to play?
The Jets.
The Jets.
I told you, Mets. I said, see, people are so like hung up on this whole thing about like the Jets, right? Like what Sam Darnold looked like with the Jets. I go, guys, it's the damn Jets, okay?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers looks like
Jets
crap
are going to be good this year. They're getting Adams.
Oh, it's gonna be a fight in that locker room. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for this to play out.
Literally grab the popcorn.
No, literally, one of my buddies. I went to school with him at Wayne State, and he works. He used to work for the Jets and then he left last year to go to the He's with the Seahawks now, so he's with a more competent. Or he goes, dude, this is night and day. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
It's really okay. So, I really am a huge fan of the Herd, and sometimes he says really stupid stuff. But there are certain things like great quarterback play is really situational.
Oh yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
Spot on, dude. Like for real. Like look at the league. Like all the places where there's good ownership, good GM, coaches, above average. Like you're gonna succeed as a quarterback, and you look at the places that don't. Like,
well, look what happened with Stafford when he left Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
One Super Bowl that year. Like
yep.
How much did that burn, by the way?
Not really that bad, except like I have people saying like, okay, so Lions fans are like, oh, they turn it into we're winning the Super Bowl. Like, no,
no.
This is Stafford. I go, this could have been us, but you guys were all saying that we had a good team back in the day when we had an absolute garbage team.
Yeah.
That Matt Patricia guy, he was. You talk about incompetency, man. He's a poster child. This guy is he was such a loser. Him and his ATV, he was an ATV to go out in the field. That's how like what? He thought he was Bill Belichick. It was that was funny as hell. So
yeah, no, it's interesting the different coaches that came out of there.
All sucked.
Yeah, they all as head coaches mostly.
Yeah,
not every single one.
Mostly, I mean,
let's be honest. The guy that is calling the plays for defense in Minnesota right now is not terrible.
Miami.
He's not a head coach.
No. You gotta hear this out. He did.
You
had
said
that
head
defense
coaches, and then you changed it to something else.
No. Let me finish. What she said. No. No, he had that defense rolling, and then the owners wanted to basically like tank for whoever, and basically he kind of got jobbed out of there, in my opinion.
I think Flores is a good defensive coach. That's obvious, but I don't think he's like a head coach, to be honest. Like I think it's kind of like Jim Schwartz. Like Schwartzy,
right? Yeah,
coordinator, awesome. Jim Schwartz as a head coach,
jump.
As a head coach, no. Him throwing a red flag when he doesn't need to throw a red flag. Thanks, dude.
Right?
Him getting all pissed at Harbaugh, and like that was like his best. Like that was his best coaching thing. Yeah, did with Detroit. So
yeah.
It is what
Funny.
it is. It's kind
Of
of
course,
like
now he's with the Browns now, so kind of fitting.
hey, you go from one franchise to another. Recycle.
Yeah.
I
No,
do like
so
I like the Packers defense this year though. I told people, well, especially Lions fans, that McKinney is going to be a problem. It's a pain in the ass.
yeah.
It just so happens that he was
So
in New York.
now I want to hear about this upcoming game.
Oh yeah, let's go. Fight.
Vikings Lions. Just first glance, taking a look at things. One, Detroit just came off of a wildly dominant game against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think that was somewhat a revenge game from last year with the BS that happened. Because they were trying to
Oh,
get a
oh,
touchdown for offensive linemen
it
this
was
year.
certainly a revenge game. It was certainly a revenge game. No,
But
you know,
how much does that actually play into the importance of how good the Lions are this year? Because the Cowboys are not.
Right. No. The Cowboys are not. But the Lions really wanted to win that game, and it shows. Like,
Yep.
and then now you got
And they did in very good fashion.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
then you have the loss of Hutch, which that's going to be an emotional drain.
yeah, that's gonna
And
be a
then
little
you
bit.
give an offensive mind like O'Connell a whole week off to plan for it. Like that's typically the good offensive coaches. If you give them a week off to plan, typically that first game, they're going to throw some weird stuff out there, and it's
Some
going to be
wrinkles into
crazy.
it. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm worried about, to be honest. And if Aaron Jones
Yeah.
plays, that's what I worry about, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not really. Who's the second running back for Minnesota? I forgot.
It
Chandler.
was Chandler. Ty Chandler.
Okay, yeah. I like Chandler a lot. So.
He has some moves, but he's no Aaron Jones.
You know what Ty Chandler is? He's just Joy Bell. That's all he is. He's great. You know? He wants to run through everyone and anyone, even if it's his own offensive lineman. I seen.
Yes.
Him do it. Yeah. I was watching it earlier. I was on the NFL Pro, and I was watching it, and I was like, he just ran over his own offensive lineman. I was like, this is awesome. then he gets tackled like right there. I was like, oh my god, just vision, dude, vision.
Right. When he's like, even against the Jets, he did have some good runs, but it was called back because some idiot decided to block in the back or whatever.
Holding.
Like, you're killing me, man.
That's what sometimes gets the Lions. Like I've noticed this year, it's a little bit different since they I don't know since Zeitler came into the fold, which he's a great offensive lineman. They haven't been having that same holding and when they go over the right guard. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But it's like all right, we'll be fine. But our offense is really good, but I'm a little bit worried about our defense. But I think there's some players on the defensive side for Detroit that are going to be with Hutch gone. I mean, no one's going to replace Hutch. Let's just be honest. If they could just be serviceable, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah. I will say though, I honestly think that this game is going to be a preview to some kind of playoff matchup because let's be honest, 3 teams are definitely going to make it out. There might be a possibility where 4 teams out of division make the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
the Vikings are going to make it.
Oh, you shut up.
I had it all along. I had the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions make the playoffs. I thought the Bears would be a little bit better than they've been. Like I really did because their defense. But like the way they've been playing and early in the season against some inferior competition, I'm like, ugh. But when when JJ went down, I was like, okay, Minnesota might not be that team that's going to challenge for the division title. Right. But then I was like, if Sam Darnold can go back to like where he was at USC, they could be pretty good.
Yeah.
All you got to do in that offense is like get the ball to Jefferson. Addison.
Well, and we've gone, we won these 5 games and Hawk hasn't even didn't come back yet.
Yeah. Well, when Hawkinson comes back, it'll be a totally different offense too. Yeah. So it's also going to be like when people figure out what Sam Darnold likes to do and try to take it away. That's what I'm kind of waiting for.
Yeah, it's possible for Hawk this week, but I'm guessing it's not going to be this week from what I've been hearing.
They're probably going to
waiting
hold
for
him
him
out.
to come back to my fantasy. He's been holding up a IR spot.
Right? I'm sure he's really worried about that.
I made an emphasis to get Sam Laporte on my team, so I don't need to worry about that.
Right? Too funny.
All right, predictions.
I think it's gonna be the Vikings because it's the home game. If it was in Detroit, I'd say Detroit.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the Vikings are going to win this game. I don't know how. I think it's going to be close. Like either team could pull it out, but I think that like it's going to be. I think it's literally going to be who has the ball last. That's what it's going to be like. Because I think these offenses are going to dictate the whole game. Like Jefferson and Addison are two pain in the asses, and if Aaron Jones plays, it's gonna be a different type of game. And I'm like, it's all right because like the Lions are built to play that offensive shootout kind of thing. But I know Flores won't allow that. But you know, Flores was talking to the media today. And he's like, they have no weakness. They literally have no weakness on offense. Like, where do you? He's like, if you pressure them, they get the ball off. Then if you blitz them, you're treading water. Like you're basically gonna allow Amon-Ra St. Brown to get loose. It's like, all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would depend on if you trust a couple old defensive backs that we have to stay on Amron and shoot the other guy,
Jameson Williams. Yeah,
Williams.
I also thought the Vikings were going to win this one, unfortunately, because I'd like that guy over there to shut up a little bit. But
hey, I don't shut up even when we lose. Come on, you know this.
I hope these screens are still the same on the actual video, so that it is that guy over there.
I just know that every time, Matt, you can agree with this. Every time the Lions and the Vikings play each other, it's never an easy game for either team. I think there's only been a couple games where you're better like, okay, the Vikings are better, okay, the Lions are better. Even when one team's been out of
when you guys sucked, when we had Favre, like all that, it was one play like at the end to decide it.
I know that Vikings games are always tough. You know what I'm saying? So that's every time we go into, I'm like, oh fuck the Vikings. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's never an easy watch. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go into a game with the Packers, like okay, I could be like, okay, one team's gonna, one team could pull this out like in a big way, or one team could like fall off. But that's not the way it was with Vikings. I don't know what it is. They just play each other really tough. I don't know.
It is weird. I have no idea why, but
it's kind of like the Bears and the Packers. Like
yeah.
All right, predictions on the Packer game.
I mean, I've said last couple weeks now that there's nobody outside the division that in division teams should really be scared of.
No.
And so I honestly think you guys are going to boat race them.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit closer, but I think that the Packers are going to pull it out. I just think that you got my boy Jaden Reed from Michigan State. All hail Jaden Reed. And as long as Romeo Dobbs doesn't go crazy, we're all right.
Yeah.
Well, I just think the Texans are going to be they don't like to travel north. I was reading a stat that they're 1 in like 32 up like in the northern hemisphere. So like anywhere in Seattle, Chicago, Minnesota, Detroit, New York,
they would struggle outside the South.
Yeah, when they're in the South, they're like, yes, cool. Go play the Cowboys. Cool, we're gonna beat their ass. Like they're not good, especially outdoor. I think outdoors. You gotta check this record. I think it's like last like 10 years they're like 4 and like 44. So that's not good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I have the game at 24-17.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, 24-17 seems pretty good to me.
I'm just hoping it doesn't come down to a field goal. Gonna be honest about it.
Well, it's funny you say that because I keep tabs on all teams in the North, and I'm like, oh, like all my Packers buddies are like, we don't have a kicker. I'm like, when has Green Bay never had a kicker? I'm trying to figure this out.
Not in our lifetime.
like
Not
they had
within my lifetime.
they've had Mason Crosby for like a long ass time, and they had other guys that are just
Long well
stepping.
before then.
Yeah, and so like you're like they've always had a kicker. It's funny because like I say the same thing with the Lions. I'm like, Lions have always had a kicker until they've been good. Like
Yeah.
this might be the first kicker we have that's actually pretty good, Jake Bates. But like the Michael Badgley during last year where they didn't even trust him to do a field goal, like in a big time moment, they're like, nope, screw it, we're going for it. I'm like, all right, all right.
And now things have flipped with the Vikings.
Yeah, well, until you get to the playoffs, and then that kicker just turns into dirt.
Don't say that. You'll jinx them. You're gonna madden them.
Okay. Will Riker is really. I like Will Riker a lot.
Yeah.
He's really good. If you can kick at Alabama, I'm pretty sure you can kick anywhere. But hey, one bad kick and all the rednecks are calling for your head. So.
Oh jeez. Yeah. Right. No kidding. Yeah. No. He hasn't missed. I kind of low key want him to miss before the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Like one kick.
Yeah, because they always flash that stat. He has not missed in 40 straight tries.
Well, that happened in the 1999 NFC Championship game. John Madden literally says, "There's no way he's gonna miss this kick." Thanks, John.
It was so funny. It was so funny. I forget who was announcing the game. I think it was Joe Buck. It was when no, it's not Joe Buck. I think it was Greg Olson or whatever. He's like, Jared Goff hasn't thrown an interception, 326 pass attempts. Sure as shit, man. This next pass was a pick six. I was like, you asshole, man. Like, what? Not even an interception, a pick six.
How do they do that?
I don't know. They did that. They did that with so many people that it's actually kind of funny. Like when they did the Brandon Aubrey, the Cowboys kicker. Like, oh, he hasn't missed in 55 tries, and then here he goes, cling.
Yeah, clink. That was, there was some. Oh, the Monday night game, that was a lot of clink.
Oh yeah, there were three goal. They had the goalpost 3 times. I was like, this is amazing. And they got those hollow ass because they got those they don't got the heavy ones at I don't know if you know this, but at MetLife Stadium they don't have the heavy goalposts like they have at Lambeau and Ford Field and like all the rest of them. They have the light ones. So like it's because the wind comes.
Really sounds.
Yeah, the wind comes in there and it starts throwing it around. It could be kind of dangerous. So they got the light ones in there.
Oh, okay.
That's why you hear that. Cling.
That's why it sounds so much more defined. I thought they just had microphones near it or something like that. Instead.
No, that's because the wind that rips around in the MetLife Stadium. If you've ever been to that stadium,
interesting.
It's the worst stadium to watch a football game. Worst.
I've not been to the stadium, but I've been near that area a lot.
Because the wind comes in through where the scoreboards are?
Yeah.
The wind comes in through the scoreboards and it's like direct wind. That's why all those it's ridiculous. Like if you watch the Jets games, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers is gonna have fun with this, man. Like he went from Lambeau Field to like this direct wind where it's going on the field.
Wait, you took time out of your day to watch Jets games?
It was the only game on yesterday.
Well, there was that.
Plus, I love watching the Jets fail because it's funny as hell. Same thing with the Giants. Like I just think New York fans, like I love seeing them like sad. I don't know what it is. New York fans and Dallas fans, amazing.
Because they've won so much and they expect it, and it's really funny when they don't.
Especially Giants fans, because like they've won Super Bowls recently, and they're always like, oh, now that their team isn't good, they're like, oh, screw this team. Daniel Jones sucks, which he does, but
he couldn't give me one touchdown to win my fantasy for this last week. One touchdown.
If you're relying on Daniel Jones, you might as well.
My quarterback wasn't a bye. All right, leave me alone. And I also had Tua, so.
Well, one quarterback's dead. One quarterback might as well be dead.
Yeah. No, it
was like Josh Allen. I had him for 25 rushing yards. He ended up with like 21. So that was cool.
No, I'm looking to make some trades here, so we'll see what happens with that. But we all know one thing is for sure: the Bears
suck.